God bless you, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you may be watching this. I was just thinking a second ago, I saw the University of Florida graduation, to where the students were, several black students were kind of rustled off stage after they did a dance or a celebratory dance. I also saw, I see the constant back and forth between those who love Michael Jordan and Michael's playing days are over, and how they try to berate LeBron James. And it just led me to, there's got to be this thing called a sacred cow. Where that came from was a lot of times they had in India, there's a lot of need, there's a lot of poverty and in certain parts of India. And right in the midst of all of their poverty, since the cow is a sacred animal there, cows are allowed to roam freely. Cows don't worry about being tonight's dinner or tomorrow's lunch snack. So they call that a sacred cow. That in the midst of all, that the answer to solution to much of the hunger there is there, but they allow these sacred cows to roam around without any harm. And it's amazing, sometimes even in life we have our own sacred cows. There's some that got sacred cows, they don't want to, there's just some tipping points that they don't want to go past. Folks, how are you going to get mad at these kids for celebrating something that may have taken them 4, 5, 6, 7 years? They're leaving college probably 6 figures in debt. So that means they're going to have payments till the cows come home. And there's some preconceived mode, method, or theory about how they should behave. And folks, I think that that is one of the biggest misnomers now. Why should they have to proceed? Why should they have to perform to anyone else's expectations? What's happening so often is, you know, I'm sure if we looked at the rates of success for, I'm sure the University of Florida, their minority student population probably doesn't top 10%, 15% at best. So with all that they had to put up with, and I'm sure they're most of the minority students that are there, their progression to degree status, if we looked at stats from that, how many started and how few finished, that would be amazing too. So there's no preconceived mode of behavior. You would not, I mean, they were not mooning the crowd. They were not kowtowing. They were not doing anything that was utterly disruptive. They're celebrating. Folks, they got a big old world. Now they got to go out in the world and find a job. And I think we got these sacred cows. I think we're holding on to so much hard to what is, that we're missing this moment of what's here now. It's, you know, folks, it will never go back to your mother and your father's day. It will never go back to the way things were. A time and change come for everyone. And we're living in that moment right now. There are those who always want to, you know, kowtow to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is a former NBA player, a former NBA great. I know you say that no one, he could, if LeBron played in his day, they made the same thing. The same discussions were given with Michael Jordan. You know, there were great icons of the past, Kareem, Oscar Robertson, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell. Each one of those were great in their own particular day, and each one of them was called the greatest of all time. But I think we got these sacred cows. One generation doesn't want to lend credence that what was is no longer there. Michael is a 50-year-old man that's retired. He's out of the game. So why should he even enter the conversation when you're seeing a young man performing at a level that very few have ever done? A freak, an anomaly, a freak of nature, 6'7", 6'8", 270 pounds, running like a gazelle, jumping out of the gym, smart, beyond his years, even though he never went to anybody's college. This is a once-in-a-lifetime thing, but you can't even enjoy this moment because of your sacred cows. Folks, even in the church has so many sacred cows. You know, folks, look, you're into sacred cows when all your leadership is in their 80s. When the leadership of the major leadership of your organization, when everybody is smelling like you know, I'll leave that one alone. But I mean, when everyone is in a state of when you got people 70 and 80 years old that are holding the reins to the church, you know, which doesn't mean that their minds have been affected, but their bodies are greatly challenged. Folks, we got so many sacred cows. Everybody's holding on to what was, and we're in a day of what is. Folks, the guard is changing. Whether whether you're a person that wants to see the changing of the guard or not, the guard is changing. Things are different. God has flipped the script. Stop holding on to what was. God is busting every sacred cow that you got. The sacred cows are coming down. Walmart is just a showroom for you to go home and order from Amazon. You know, Amazon, if they don't break it up, is destined to become the killer company, the Death Star, that they're going to put everybody out of business before long. And it's because so many people had sacred cows. They didn't see an enemy coming. It's one thing for an enemy to slip up on you, but when the enemy does it in slow motion, that means that you were so stuck on how you do things. You were so stuck on how this is going to go down, and you've allowed a sacred cow to defeat you in business. Folks, everybody's holding on to their modes. What was is not what is. You know, the only I think it was Mark Twain that once said that the only person who isn't resistant to change is a wet baby. Folks, no one likes change. No one likes what's coming down the pipe. No one likes what's right around the corner. No one likes what's about to be. But you gotta realize that change respects no one. Change comes for us all, and you gotta stop your love affair with these sacred cows. You can keep in your sacred cow worship, and sacred cow worship most times will lead to utter starvation and deprivation. And if you keep a sacred cow as a business model, if you keep a sacred cow as your mode of operating, there's a Death Star coming for you. Annihilation is coming your way. I heard a great business guru recently said, innovate or die. Folks, that day is coming upon us. Stop holding on to so hard to what was. Maybe that's why Paul said, he said, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching for those things which are before, I press towards the mark, towards the prize of the high calling of God, which is in Christ Jesus. My brother, my sister, child of God, I'm telling you that you got to stop your love affair with these sacred cows. Folks, what was is not is. It'll never go back to your grandmother's time. I know everybody wants to talk about make America great again. Well, America had some challenging moments even back in that day. Even in the good old days, you got to consider and take pensive thought about who were those days good for. If they were not good for you, you don't want to go back to the good old days. My word to you, my clarion call, my edict from on high you stop holding on to all these sacred cows. Change is coming for you. Change is coming for me. Change is coming for our children. You can fight change all day long, but that doesn't stop change from coming. Folks, we don't want to be an 8-track church, an 8-track business in an MP3 and a streaming world. I have an automobile now for the first time in quite a while that was made, and it's the the current year model of this car does not have a CD player. Now, I got CDs for days, church CDs where I used to listen to sermons, and now they're all set up for streaming or downloads or everything like this. The world has changed. You can keep being the man on the corner selling CDs out of your trunk, trying to sell your 8-tracks. But folks, look, that's a sacred cow. What was is not what is. You got to remember to stop your love affair with sacred cows. Be blessed. Have an awesome day.